Okay. All right, let's start with our usual land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the indigenous peoples and ancestors whose lands we now share. And we can move on to 2.0, adoption of the agenda. So we have one deletion under delegations, 4.0A, and then we have a few additions on both pages. Any further additions? If none, get a motion to accept the agenda with the changes.
Linda, did you want to add?
Can I have the, for our meeting, when we meet some ratepayers meeting?
Oh, yeah, you sure can. So we will put that under 6.1.1, item I. We'll just say the word seven ratepayer meeting. Anything else?
I'll make a motion to.
Okay, Councillor Levinsky moves to adopt the agenda with deletions, and additions. All in favor? It's carried. Minutes from our previous meeting on May the 12th. There for review. Any discussion arising? Any errors?
I'll move adoption of the minutes if there's
Okay.
no other question.
Moved by Councillor Shug. To adopt the previous minutes. All in favor? It's carried. We have a delegation scheduled for 9:15. I don't think she's in the waiting room yet, so we'll just move down. Come back to that. Move down to 6.1.1. Item A is a letter from the Manning Area Attraction and Retention Committee, acronym of MARC. So I can speak to this as chair of MARC. Pardon me?
You want to state that?
No, not really. Benefit you any, other than having your son closer to you, but. I mean, it's up to you, Garrett, if you wanna declare you can, but I
I
don't
think maybe I should just wait on something.
All right. So hopefully you've read the letter. And just to summarize it, there's a new position be arriving this summer in Canada, and then she'll be doing her assessment elsewhere, and then once her assessment is done and she's granted her license to practice, she'll be practicing in Manning, working at the hospital and the clinic. And so, as in the past two international physicians that have came, we've offered the county house to them to move in, which is a big attraction piece. They, I've heard multiple times that is a huge thing when you're coming internationally to have a furnished house waiting for you within walking distance of the hospital and the clinic. So we're asking if the council would grant that same opportunity for this new coming doctor. We don't have a firm date yet, but it'll probably be early fall is what we're kind of anticipating. So, and the reason Garrett excused himself is the physician is his daughter-in-law. So it'll be her and her husband, which is Garrett's son, will be living there. So I think previously, it's in the background there. We just said reduced rental rate, we didn't put it right. I thought, and I'd have to, somebody'd have to check back, but I thought we gave it to them rent-free for the first 6 months.
We'd have to look at former agreement that you had with Dr. People.
That's right, I don't have that in front of me, so I think whatever we did then, we would probably match, right? And then it kind of gradually came up to more of a market rate. And the town has agreed that they would look after the utilities, which would be gas, water, sewer, garbage pickup, whatever the normal utilities are. They would cover that for them for the same kind of a period.
I don't think you charged.
No, the county pays the taxes.
No,
Yeah.
no, we don't.
They don't, that's tax free because it's a municipal building. Okay,
Or they're waived
They
from
waived
now,
the
rather
rate.
than they've got it flagged as example.
okay, that's good. So any thoughts on that? or-
I just wondered what the term
Yeah.
was for Cape, for when Cape Ponds were there. I mean, we wanna make sure that it's the same.
Line up with that.
Yeah, and that was my only concern. I have no problem. I agree. I think it's a great attraction and retention tool, and I think all the municipalities maybe should be doing that, given the state of attracting people. It's tough. But
So-
I have no problem, just as long as it aligns with what we did.
So that's to be the motion that we would grant them the use of the house on the same terms as the previous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it has to match. That's all.
So, remind us how the house is being used at present.
So presently, and Teresa will know more because she helps with the scheduling, I think. Is for locums, yeah. So we had, over the winter, we had, so there is one of the physicians in Manning is qualified to do assessments. So there is doctors that come for the 3-month assessment and they've stayed there, but they paid market rent on it. And, but now there hasn't been one of them since, I think, maybe February was the last one, so it's back to locums. And
So it's underused isn't them
underused,
underused, yeah.
yeah.
They don't get locums, they don't think it's often, but.
Well, we don't, because we have 3 resident positions and. So, yeah, we're not, and I think that they've been made aware that this will happen and they'll find alternate accommodations when this happens, so. So that'll be some coordination between the county, AHS, and, whoever looks after locals, I guess.
Maybe that's something that, we could look, or Mark could look at sending a letter to, Northeast Housing One, because we always talk about the availability that they have to cover locums in the case that we have a doctor in the doctor house and need locum housing.
Yeah. Make them aware that.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a kind of a backup place, there's a.
Oh, okay,
What do you wanna call it, not an Airbnb, but. Hutchison's have that. You know,
something
kind of a
similar,
bed
yeah.
and breakfast place that they actually really like it. The only difference in it, it's a bit further away from the hospital, so.
Yeah.
You have to, I mean, you can walk it, but you can drive it, so.
Just thinking if we lock the doctor house into a term of whatever that looks like, that, then at least we've done our due diligence, communicated, right?
Sure. So Kayla, we're gonna make that motion, or?
I'm prepared to, yeah.
Good. Yeah,
There's no
Do
other
you want me
question.
to read it aloud?
yeah, you better.
Please, yeah.
I can't see it.
Moved by Councillor Shug to acknowledge receipt of the letter from the Manning Area Attraction and Retention Committee and authorize administration to draft an agreement that aligns with the previous agreement for Dr. Swanepoel to rent the county doctor's house and bring back to council. Just, you want to see what that agreement looks like? Back to council? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because then we can see it at our next meeting and then we're aware of
You know, it's
what it is.
not a push yet. Yeah, because it won't be till fall.
Mhm.
I think that's probably good due diligence to see it.
Okay,
I'm fair, I'm fine with that, thank you.
good. Brandon, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that, and I think that's good. That was the whole purpose of buying that house, so.
Exactly. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, item B is a request for a regional drainage committee meeting. So Blake and I, and Darren, did you attend that too? We went down to Birch Hills that time. No, it must have been just Blake and I went.
Yeah.
I thought there was a third one, but it doesn't matter. So Birch Hills and some of the other municipalities in the southern area, that piece have been having some concerns with the funding for these rehabilitation of drainage ditches. Turns out our municipality has probably as many drainage ditches as anybody. We have a pile of them that I wasn't really aware of, but. And at the time, Blake said really wasn't any big concerns. I mean, we budget for cleaning and mowing and kind of the usual maintenance stuff, but I guess with this spring's runoff, maybe that's changed. I don't know. Any thoughts on it? I know it's not your department to look after the ditches, but
It is.
This is,
And
why is that?
Well, ag falls under public works.
Oh, it does, it? I
Uh,
didn't know that shifted.
I did relay concerns previously about the condition of some of these drainage ditches. I, without knowing what conversations were had at that meeting, I would echo those same concerns. It is the same as the bridges. It is the same as everything else that we've inherited that was built back in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Heritage.
Yeah, for lack of better words. That, yeah, they need some rehabilitation. It's one of my priorities for that department is doing a rather in-depth assessment of what we need to do. And will require funding. So.
Well, that's what I'm kind of struggling with this email request, right? I mean, they're talking about that they didn't get the funding for the grant that they wanted to get for consultation or, and advocacy and consultant work and things. And now the first item on the agenda is to consider dissolution of the committee. So I don't really know if we're gonna get any return on investment in sending anybody there, or if we're better off just assessing how we manage our own drainage ditches. I mean, it's fine to get into a room, but if the first thing on your agenda is dissolution of the committee, what are we doing?
Yeah, possible dissolution. So I guess the their thought at the time was collectively we would have a stronger voice, which is always kind of the thought, right? That if, you know, 8 or, so I mean, we have representatives right from Mackenzie all the way down to Greenview and mostly in between. And so everybody had varying degrees of concern, but it all tied back to some major funding, right? These ditches are not cheap to rehabilitate, right? And they have some, like, the ones that they have that flow into the Peace, which I mean, we have some too. They have some major erosion problems on, right? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the one up in Hawk Hills, for example,
yeah,
that Plains Midstream raised concerns about. Yeah, we'd love to do some work to that, but there's not really any money to do it. And with it not being my department, I kept my nose where my,
or one,
where I was supposed to be. But now that it has fallen under me, I'm going to put my nose in it, so.
I wasn't aware that this got taken back to the public works. So when did that happen?
Well, Blake's retirement.
After this, so recently.
Yeah, like it just kind of makes sense,
Well,
right?
yeah.
With,
There is a bit of an overlap between the mowing and.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Not even a bit of overlap, there's quite a bit of overlap. right?
yeah, and now with the new position also, and you'll remember, includes fleet as well as building maintenance. I was looking it up and that already as it was, so. Why not give me roadside mowing and drainage ditches and all the fun stuff?
That's right, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Wanna look after a water pump and hose too.
Exactly.
So Charles, then I guess that being said. I mean, I guess probably we should attend one more meeting they're proposing just to see what the,
I think so, and as. There's great value in numbers, right? If a bunch of municipalities are lobbying the same thing, you're a little more likely to get money.
so when Blake said that there's binders and binders on each drainage ditch. So a lot of information that, I mean, I don't know if that's relevant to this, I mean, I guess you assess the ditches.
It is, I mean, and I've gone through some of them, like the one that we had issues with in East Manning here. Yeah, like there's decent amount of information, the quality is to be determined.
Yeah,
This
this is still stuff back from the water resources day, that just.
100%,
Yeah.
and it's very little update to it. So that's one of the things I wanna look at as well, because I mean, the major ones are in Hawk Hills, a few in East Manning. And a couple others through the county, but we do have some that are registered drainage ditches that are not necessarily needed to be registered drainage ditches. or have just overgrown or filled in over time. So it is something that we are going to be looking at. And assessing what condition each of them are in. And what the process is potentially for unregistering them if we need it. Cause I can't tell you what that is all.
So I mean, that's kind of separate from what these guys are proposing there. I mean, it will fall into it if, you know.
Yeah.
Applying for funding for something.
Yeah, it's gonna cost money to get survey done.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's something that we do carry some money there for it, but. Yeah, it's,
So we should respond that we would be interested if they could provide some dates and then we can decide who goes.
I think it would be worth another kick at the can.
I just want to reiterate, if I may, so this is just to join the committee. To have a joint effort to the advocacy side of it, not to have any funding of different draining ditches in different areas of it. This is just the advocacy.
Yeah, no funding from our municipality at this time, right?
At this
Just,
time.
you know, other than, you know, has to go to Wanham or we have to go to them. Fairly maybe.
And we need to suggest a few dates, so if you have dates available, let us know.
All right, so we want to make a motion that we accept it for the commission and,
I think, this would be a good idea, seeing how there's a new. Ag minister, things might have changed too, so,
the finance minister, new ag minister.
yeah, so.
Yes.
You never know, so, yeah, I think we should pursue this yet.
No, like I say, given the fact that we have a lot of drainage ditches that compared to some other municipalities, so. Somebody want to make that motion then, or?
I can.
Okay, Council, please, moves that we, reply that we will be interested in a committee meeting. And we will provide some dates, which, know that we have to do that right away. No.
There's a suggestion for early July or later in August.
Mhm. Well, things with those, I guess. Well, but let's not put dates down now, let's let them kind of come back to us with some suggested dates.
But doesn't the email say that they want dates?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
So,
Please offer some suggested dates and times.
And can we also have names who wants to be on the?
I think we need to give some names and some dates. That's what they're asking, right?
So,
I'd be willing to
yeah,
go on to that.
okay, and Charles.
Yeah, sure. Roped myself into that one, I guess.
I know I went last time, and it was really kind of at a dead end there.
I'll probably bring Tegan along as well, just.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know.
Okay, so put that in motion then too, and then what would be better for you, July or August?
Like, I'm open to all again.
Charles yourself, no preference.
Whatever you guys want. As long as it's not next week. I booked it off, so.
Yeah, I'm open all of July and. Just the 14th of August, is our main thing, that's it.
This sounds okay, so we have a motion, any other discussion?
So, Charles, on the ditches, what would be your major concern in that area?
Mainly the Gabion baskets, replacing those. There's a lot of them that are in fair amount of disrepair. So you're at a point now where it's likely not rehabbing, it's more likely replacing, which is gonna come at a fairly good cost. Potential, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of assessment on all of our drainage ditches, but that is the main thing I've seen. Some areas as well, erosion, that's a big one. There's one up in King River particularly, but,
We drove past that one
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, I see we have our delegation online. So let's go back on the agenda. 4.0B. We have the CEO of Peace Library Systems, Louisa Robinson. Good morning, Louisa.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Awesome. I was asked to come and talk about Bill 28 and the letter that was received from Dixonville. That's correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So, are you familiar with our council, Louisa? We can maybe just do a quick introduction of ourselves.
I know Belinda. Other than that, not really.
What I thought, so I'll start down that end by Belinda.
Good morning, it's Brent Reese, Edward Sunnyvale.
Morning, Louisa.
Morning.
Good morning, Teresa Tupper, Executive Assistant.
And good morning, I'm Gareth speaking, I'm the CEO. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Terry Ungarian. I represent Hotchkiss Hawk Hills.
Good
Right.
morning, Gloria Deckens, Ward 5, for Start Breaking Point.
Go ahead, Gary.
Morning, Gary Tays. I represent Barbara Valerie.
Good morning, Kaylin Shug, I represent Warrensville, Lockport County.
And we have one councillor online.
Good morning, Brenda Yasinski. I represent Dixonville, Chinook Valley.
So, what can you tell us about Bill 28?
My last 3 months have pretty much been wrapped up in the ATIA and Bill 28, so I'm kind of underwater with it all. So if I get too into the weeds, please just let me know. I assume that you have all read Bill 28, considering that it is heavy into the MGA. And the letter from Dixonville plus the briefing note that that was sent with that. Bill 28 is going to be very detrimental to library service in Alberta, in that it is requiring a number of changes to the way service is delivered, changes to the way we can talk to our patrons, the way that patrons can talk to us, and what they can even use in the library or outside of the library. One of the things that they're really hammering on is they want children's collections and adult collections physically separated, which in larger libraries they already are. So in the urban libraries like Edmonton and Calgary, and even in the larger rural ones like Peace River, Fairview, Grand Prairie, they already are physically disconnected. But in the smaller rural libraries, and specifically in your area, Keg River and Dixonville, there's no space to be able to separate them physically. And they're not providing any extra funds to be able to do any of this work that they're requiring us to do, and yet are threatening libraries with if they come out and inspect and find non-compliance, then they will threaten our grant funds and just our ability to operate altogether. They're also putting in a number of what we see as privacy violations, meaning that if the minister so desires, he can appoint a library inspector to come out and inspect the libraries. Now, they already had the power to do this. The minister could already appoint an inspector to come out and inspect the board's books and the board's operation and all of that. But now they're giving these hypothetical inspectors the power to also look at patron records, what they've borrowed and when they've borrowed it, at personnel records, who they're paying and how much, which we're looking at as a violation of privacy and our ability to operate as a library. What they're doing really is taking away the autonomy of all libraries in Alberta. The libraries that are created by the municipality and funded by the municipality, the province is taking away that control for themselves while still expecting the municipalities to maintain the funding. So what we're asking is that municipalities and library boards just push back a little bit on this and say, look, we would like to work with you, because the bill has already been passed, of course. So now we're just kind of looking at regulations, the way that the regulations can be written so that it's not going to, so that we can still comply with what it is they're asking us to do, but without the overreach that they're trying to implement. So what we're asking municipalities to do is to just back us up on this and, you know, write to the minister and say that this is overreach and we feel that we are operating our libraries within the bounds of the law as it's written now, which we are. We already have policies that address all of the stuff that they are saying that needs addressing. We have collection development policies and requests for reconsideration and the policies around the use of libraries by unattended minors. All of that stuff already exists. So why the government feels the need to go and create more regulations around this is kind of, it's unnecessary. Have I answered a question?
Thanks for that. In summary, so this coalition of Alberta Public Libraries pretty much unanimous, feeling the same way as you from Peace Library. And this is a kind of a province-wide pushback.
Yes, all of the libraries in Alberta have joined this, with the exception, I will note, of the 3 libraries in Mackenzie County, which is of course where Minister Williams is from.
So they think it's okay.
I think that they asked for it.
So I have a question there, and maybe you can clarify, but what would trigger an inspection like this, like to go deep into your personal records?
Well, that's a very good question. There's nothing been
Does
actually,
it say? No.
there's nothing been actually written around that. It just says they have the power to do it if they want.
Hmm.
So do you think this kind of was a spin-off of school libraries, like they were trying to censor school libraries and then they just passed it off to public libraries then?
Absolutely. And when this was originally discussed last year, what they had said was that it was going to be just applicable to libraries that were co-located in schools. So such as the Dixonville Library, the Grimshaw Library, or the Eaglesham Library, libraries like that, so that the school library rules would apply to those public libraries. But then when they wrote it and we came back with, wait, we thought this was only going to be for school co-located libraries, they went, yep, but it's not. And they didn't give us a reason as to why it wasn't restricted to school libraries. They just said, well, it is what it is, so deal with it.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, I mean, the minister happens to represent us as well, but we all live in his riding, so. And I mean, we all have pretty close connections with him, so I think we could have that conversation and see what his response is. Like you say, the bill is passed, so we're not gonna turn that around, but we can maybe they can relax some of these overreaches that you described.
Yeah,
The
it
bill-
doesn't.
Maybe in the school libraries, maybe there was need for some intervention. I don't know for sure. I just what I see on the news, but public libraries already seem to have all the measures in to guard against what the schools are experiencing. So I don't know why they're trying to add another layer, or actually not adding a layer. They're just trying to take it away from where the school boards or the library boards, right? So I don't know. Gloria sits on the library board, Linda sits on PLS. I don't know if you guys have any comments or if you know anything about this or what kind of repercussions it would have.
We haven't had a meeting since, so I
Okay.
we can give it a chance.
Terry and Cave River,
Stupid, you like.
yeah, in Cave River, that's one of the smallest libraries we have, right? And there's no room to try to separate, you know, we do our best to keep it separated. But I do know where it stemmed from. It started in the Crete because they did not want certain books and stuff in their library. And that's, you know, and as you can say, Louisa said, they're the only ones that are not on this coalition of the rest of the libraries. Correct, Lisa?
Yeah, it does seem to be a bit of overreach with blanketing all libraries in the same light. Like, I think, yeah, I think it's worth a conversation, at least with Dan Williams. Maybe he can give more clarification on it, because I don't think it's necessary in most public libraries, especially the small ones, like small space, you can't separate things, and really you can easily monitor what the patrons are looking at and taking out, so.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
A couple of things. When this conversation was had by some other libraries with Minister Williams, he said specifically, oh, we know that the rural libraries aren't the problem. This is specifically aimed at the urban libraries, so Edmonton and Calgary, which is, first of all, it's unfair. But second, it's even if it is only aimed at urban libraries, the rural libraries are the ones that are going to feel the most fallout, because we're the ones that don't have the money to be able to follow through with any of this. Plus, the urbans already have the collections separated physically. So, number one. Number two, the book that the minister was specifically referencing when he did his press conference about this, he said his constituents went into a library and found this on the shelf. Well, the only libraries that had that specific book, the only libraries that had that book on their shelf was Edmonton and Calgary Public. So his constituents would have had to have driven 8 hours to another community's library to pull it off the shelf. And by the way, it was on the adult shelves, not the children's shelves. So it was very theatrical, I'll grant that, but it was also a complete misdirection. Any library that does their own purchasing, and all libraries do their own purchasing, has control over what is on their shelves. If they don't want something that has graphic sexual images or whatever on their shelves, it's not going to be on their shelves. And that's a reflection of the community standard that that library is in. So if your library doesn't want to have whatever book on their shelf, they won't have it on their shelf. If this other community does want it on their shelf, they should be able to, because that's what their community wants. What he's trying to do is put a blanket over everything that says none of this is acceptable, so nobody should be allowed to see it, adult or child. Sorry, I got a little bit ranty there. I'm sorry.
So this is driven, it sounds like, by one community's narrow view of what the standard should be on reading material, I guess.
That's my understanding. I'm not saying it's fact.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
It's also, are they gonna, what's next? Are they gonna limit internet access then? Because I mean, whatever you can read in the library, you can find online.
Yeah.
So kids have phones from 5, 6, 7-year-old, they start having iPads and all those type of things with the internet access. And so it's just I think it should be an educational side from the parents, not from a limitation from the province side on what people should have access to.
And that's exactly what library policies dictate, is that parents are responsible for the things that their child see, take out, and do in the libraries. We don't act in loco parentis like teachers do. We can't control what children do in the libraries, like on the computers and that, because it's unfiltered internet.
So I see in the information that was provided, there's a kind of a template for a resolution. Was some member of the coalition of public libraries going to bring a resolution forward to Alberta municipalities or to RMA or both?
I believe there are conversations around that right now. I don't know that any decision has been made. The resolutions have been made by a lot of the municipal councils. I know Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer, I think Wood Buffalo, and a few other of the smaller communities have made resolutions around this. And like I say, I'm thinking that there are conversations around taking it to RMA. I just don't know that it's actually been decided yet.
That was kind of so I signed up for the Coalition of Public Libraries webinar that's happening on Friday. And it was in the subject line that was kind of some of the discussion that's going to be happening on Friday is advocacy work and kind of calls to action going forward, so.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, like, so is where there's a shared library, a municipal library shared with the school division, is that kind of a separate conversation? I mean, or how do the rules in those libraries work? Is it still the same as a public library? That the school has to abide by the same standards as if it was not attached to the school? Maybe that's where the problem started.
Yeah, co-located libraries are a problem of their own stripe. The trouble is trying to have a library that can serve a school population while also being able to serve the adult population of the community. And some have accomplished it by keeping, the school collection on this side of the room and the public collection on that side of the room. And some just don't even try it, just throw everything all together and then just watch what the kids are allowed to take out, or there are kind of electronic guardrails around what the kids can take out on their card. So if the kid tries to go and take out a Stephen King or whatever, then it's not going to let them take it out. So yeah, school libraries or schoolhouse public libraries, I should say, are going to be an issue out of all of that. Well, they've always kind of been an issue, but they're going to be a new issue. This is great. Because I don't know that they'll be able to follow any of these rules. So what they might have to do is just close the public portion of the library altogether. And some of the smaller communities, if they're not able to abide by the dictates to put a wall up between the kids and the public and the adult section, they're going to have to close as well. Either that, or they're going to have to follow the Iowa model, in which they just ban children from the libraries altogether.
Yeah, so that is a different set of problems, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, when I first heard about the co-libraries, public and school, I thought, what a great idea, the not having two separate libraries in a small community, but I guess that's not quite as easy as that.
No,
So,
it's
sorry. Closing comments, but we'll discuss this at the end of our meeting and decide what we want to do, whether we want to draft a letter to the minister or have a meeting with the minister, or both, or do nothing, but we'll have a discussion on it. So last chance for any closing comments, and then we'll let you go. You're good?
Sorry, I think I just froze there for a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay. I think I've said pretty much everything that needs to be said. There's a lot, like I say, there's a lot of opinions being thrown around. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of angst. We will try to do what the government finally lands on when they get the bill with royal assent and get the regulations written. But until then, we're not going to obey in advance. We'll make plans, but that's the best we can
Honestly,
do for now.
I don't think they're gonna come after the small rural libraries or, even in towns as big as Peace River, or I don't think they're gonna be coming after those, like the ones that are already well managed. I think they will be focusing on the larger public libraries.
Very likely.
They have the ability to do, or two separate things, right? We don't think they will, but they definitely have the authorities. So are you going to do a similar presentation to some of the actual libraries are the urbans, like Town of Manning, Town of Peace River, Town of Grimshaw, so they're kind of aware?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to all the councils, but we were trying to get to all the councils before even the bill got voted on, but they just kind of rushed that through. So now I'm just kind of talking to who I can get to. We don't have any idea when the regulations and the royal assent is going to be, so we're trying to squeeze it in as fast as we can.
Because we support, these other libraries that aren't actually ours, but our residents use them and we fund them. So that would be good if they're in the loop so they can push back too.
Yep.
Okay, well, thanks for your time. And we'll let you know what we're going to do with this.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, we can move back to 6.1.1. Move down to item C, the Mighty Peace Watershed, AGM coming up. Brent, you're a representative on the Lady Blue Watershed.
Yeah, I can tell this.
You can attend?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Just need a motion to accept the invitation and have Councillor Duffy was it, and have Councillor Reese attend. All in favor? Carried. Item D is a Peace Regional Outreach Campus Invitations. Barbecue and then a graduation. All taking place in Peace River.
I am not available for the barbecue, but I am available for the grad. If we do need somebody to go, I know historically awards on it too have had a lot of students in the program.
Yeah, I think we fund this too, don't we?
Yes.
We do.
So anybody want to go to the barbecue or just send somebody to the grad would be sufficient?
If somebody could go to the grad, that would be, or the barbecue, that would be really great, but. I'm double booked that day, I can be in 3 places at once.
I think I can, thinking Jean has a invite to it too, so.
2nd of June. Okay. And Taylor, you would go to the grad then?
Absolutely, yeah, I think it's important we have representation there.
Okay, and then I think they expect a little acknowledgement from you then, so we'll get a motion that will RSVP that Councillor Thies will attend the barbecue and Reeve Sharp will attend the graduation. Councillor Reese makes that motion. Any discussion, clarification? No, all in favor? Carried. Can we skip down to the subdivisions right now? I see Gail's online. And I think we have anything for her until then, so it could be a while. Also be okay with that if we skip to page 2?
I'm fine.
Good morning, Gail. You're muted.
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you. Thanks.
Okay, so we're going, we see you're online quite a bit early, but rather than you waiting around, we'll skip down to the agenda to page 2. 6.6.1, item B is subdivision application 26 NL05. So we'll just let everybody find that. Oh. This must have been eavesdropping. Yeah. Not up here. We're gonna do the subdivisions.
Okay.
Listening intently, dropping money, dropping.
Listening into council, paying attention.
Okay, so we're gonna start with 26 NL05.
Okay.
Okay, so the applicant owner proposes to subdivide a 4.0 hectare or 10-acre parcel on the southeast of 69222 west of the 5th for a residential parcel. The quarter section is fragmented by wetlands and trees and has been previously subdivided into east of CFT 992243080 and west CFT 172140300 parcel. The proposed parcel is located on the northeast portion of CFT 992243090 and will be the third parcel from the quarter section. The municipal or the county's municipal development plan considers a fragmented parcel to be unsubdivided, which allows for the subdivision of a farmstead as a first parcel out of a fragmented parcel. The proposed parcel complies with a maximum size of 4 hectares or 10 acres allowed for the Agriculture General A District. The quarter section is located at the northwest corner of Township Road 920 and Range Road 225 and 5.6 kilometers northeast of Manning town limits, 6.3 kilometers east of the Manning Airport, and 6.6 kilometers southeast of Notikewin River. The proposed parcel and quarter section are designated Agriculture General A District. The proposed parcel, located on a CFT 992-243-080, contains a residence, accessory buildings, a dugout, and agriculture land. The location of all buildings meet the required setback distances for the A district. The dugout also meets setback distances from property boundaries. An existing open discharge system does not meet setback requirements. The applicant has indicated that the current system will be removed and capped, and that a holding tank will be located on the parcel on a permanent basis. The proposed location of the new holding tank meets setback requirements. The balance of CFT 992-243-080 is in agricultural production, with trees located along the north and west property boundary. CFT 192-140-300 on the west portion of the quarter section contains a residence, accessory buildings, and agriculture land. All lands adjacent to the subject parcel are zoned A district. The proposed parcel is compatible with existing land uses in the surrounding area and is not considered to have a negative impact on adjacent lands. Access to the proposed parcels from Range Road 225, which has residential road classification. Access to the balance of CFT 992-243-080 and to CFT 172-140-300 is provided from Township Road 920, which has a residential road classification. The landowner will be required to either enter into a cross-lot access agreement with the landowner to the west to ensure continued access to the balance of the lands, or alternatively, construct a new access at a location satisfactory to the county's Public Works Department. In accordance with Section 662 of the Municipal Government Act and Policy 9.2.4B of the MDP, a 5.0 meter road right-of-way will be required by caveat along the east boundary of the proposed parcel and the balance of the lands adjacent to Range Road 225 and along the south boundary of the balance of the lands adjacent to Township Road 920. Although there is a county water line located along the east side of Range Road 225, the applicant has indicated that he uses a cistern to provide potable water to the residential parcel. No conflict policy to the Municipal Development Plan. Policy 4.2.5 states that a fragmented parcel shall be deemed to be unsubdivided. A farmstead separation on the fragmented parcel is therefore permitted. There's no conflict with the land use bylaw. The proposed parcel size complies with the 4.0 hectare or 10 acre size allowed by the A district. The county's Public Works Department has indicated that the access off Township Road 920 falls within the west parcel and cannot be moved. The county would be open to a cross-lot access agreement. If the applicant cannot obtain a cross-lot access agreement, a new approach would be needed to be installed. ATCO Electric Limited has requested that the applicant owner be required to carry forward and or provide new agreements, caveats, easements, and or rights of way in accordance with municipal requirements and agency and or utility company requirements. They have advised that they will be approaching the landowner for the purpose of acquiring a power line right of way on all facilities directly affected by this subdivision. ATCO Electric Limited will register the power line right of way on title in the form of a caveat. Preparation, acquisition, and registration of the caveat will be the sole responsibility of ATCO Electric Limited. The landowner shall not be responsible for any costs related to the affirmation process. Alberta Forestry and Parks, Alberta Health Services, Alberta Energy Regulator, and TELUS responded indicating they had no concerns. No further responses were received. It is recommended that the subdivision application to create a 4.0 hectare or 10 acre parcel from the portion of Southeast 6, 92, 22, West 5, west of the 5th meridian be approved subject to the 8 conditions outlined.
Thanks, Gail. Any questions? Seeing none, give a motion to approve subdivision 26 NL05. Councillor Reeve makes that motion. Any other clarification? All in favor? It's carried. Okay,
Thank you.
Item C is subdivisions application 26 NL03.
Okay, I believe Natalie, I'm hoping, is online. Yes, she is, and she'll be presenting.
Good morning, Natalie.
Hello and good morning.
So would you want to take us through this next subdivision?
I sure can.
Okay. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
The applicant proposes to subdivide a 4.0 hectare or 10-acre parcel from the northwest 24 west of the 5th meridian as a vacant first parcel out of the quarter section. The proposed parcel is intended for residential use and conforms to the maximum size of the 4 hectare or 10-acre allowed within the agricultural general district. The proposed parcel is located adjacent to Range Road 241, 3 kilometers west of Highway 35 and 10 kilometers southwest of the Manning town limits. The proposed parcel and quarter section is designated agricultural district in the land use bylaw. The proposed parcel is located midway through the quarter section and directly east of Range Road 241. Range Road 241 has been partially constructed with the construction road ending near the southern boundary of the proposed parcel. The most southerly portion of the proposed parcel and balance of the lands lying south of the proposed parcel are adjacent to the undeveloped road allowance. There are 4 accessory buildings which are identified as old granaries and sheds on skids located on the eastern side of the proposed subdivision. The applicant has indicated that he will remove these accessory buildings in order to meet setback regulations. The balance of the quarter section contains a dugout, trees, grass, and scrub. Regarding surrounding conditions, lands east, north, and west of the subject parcel are zoned agricultural district, and lands to the south and southwest of the subject parcel are zoned Crown Land District. The proposed parcel is compatible with existing land uses in the surrounding area and is not considered to have a negative impact on adjacent lands. Regarding access and servicing, there are currently 3 accesses to the quarter section off Range Road 241. Which has a residential road classification. The southernmost access provided access to the former logging operation and is no longer in use. A condition requiring that this access will be removed has been included in this report. The other 2 accesses will remain and will provide access to the proposed parcel and the balance of the quarter section. In accordance with Section 662 of the MGA, and Policy 9.2.4B of the MDP, a 5-meter road right-of-way will be required by caveat along the west boundary of the proposed parcel and the balance of the lands adjacent to Range Road 241 and adjacent to the undeveloped road allowance. Regarding the municipal development plan, there is no conflict, as Policy 4.2.9 allows for the subdivision of vacant first parcel out on better agricultural land if the lands are not being actively farmed. And regarding the land use bylaw, there is no conflict. The proposed parcel size complies with a 9.0 or 10-acre allowable district in the agricultural district. The county's Director of Public Works has expressed concern that the parcel being subdivided out is in the middle of the quarter and the road does not extend to the end of the quarter. If in the future they decide to subdivide to the south, there would be no access. He has also requested that one of the approaches onto the subdivided parcel should be removed, as we only allow 1 per parcel. An advisement has been included stating that the applicant may be required to extend a portion of the county road further to the south if future subdivision were to occur requiring access to the land south of the proposed parcel. No concerns were received from ATCO Electric, TELUS, Alberta Energy Regulator, Alberta Forest Parks, and Alberta Health Services. It is recommended that the subdivision application to create a 4.0 hectare or 10-acre parcel from the northwest 24 west of the 5th meridian be approved, subject to the 9 conditions and 1 advisement outlined in the report.
Okay, thanks, Molly. Any questions?
Well, I don't know about building and extend the road.
I have not talked to Engel.
His concern was if they subdivided further, that south of the parcel they're cutting out now, like if they wanted to cut that out down the road, there is no road to access that portion. Right now, the access to that portion is coming from the north. So the advisement would just be if they ever wanted to subdivide further, they may need to build that road up and create that access. Right now, they're not interested in that.
No, well, it's okay today.
Yeah.
What's gonna After 10 years.
Yeah, so move it over.
But that can also be addressed when they do that subdivision. That's not something they're asking for right now.
So the road basically ends with this subdivision is.
Yes.
Anything to the south
And then the same
has
thing.
no access.
Yeah, and right now, like, they're taking that middle chunk out, but you
Yeah.
can access that entire balance through that northern approach, and it's used for farmland, so it likely will stay that way. But if it ever subdivides further to become residential, they'd have to build the road up. Yeah,
So, I mean, looking at the map, it would only be a short piece of road they'd have to build to access that southern piece if they ever did.
Yeah.
So like, that was not something typically they'd have to build it to your standards, right, to county standards.
Yeah, for us to take it over.
but this is just an advisement for if they subdivide in the future.
Okay, any other questions? Don't see none. Is somebody willing to make a motion to approve 26 NL03 with the 9 conditions? Okay, Councillor Thies has made that motion. Any other questions? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, and then the third one, item D, application 26 NL06. Who wants to take that one?
I will be speaking to that one as well.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Perfect. The applicant slash owner proposes to subdivide an 8.5 hectare or 21 acre parcel from Northeast 149223 west of the 5th meridian for a residential parcel. The proposed parcel is more than a 4 hectare or 10 acre the county's land use bylaw allows in the agricultural general district. The A district allows for the development authority to approve a larger parcel size subject to the presence of farm buildings and improvements. For this parcel, the proposed parcel size is warranted and is required to accommodate the physical characteristics of the site that consists of an existing residence, farm buildings, open discharge system, a dugout, and pasture. The larger parcel size is also warranted to allow the applicant to raise cattle. Based on site characteristics, it is reasonable to consider the applicant's request for an 8.5 hectare or 21 acre parcel. The quarter section is located immediately west of Range Road 231, 3.1 kilometers northeast of Notikewin, and 3.0 kilometers east of Highway 35. The proposed parcel contains a house, farm buildings, a dugout, and pasture. The second dugout and 2 ponds are located on the bounds of the quarter section. The applicant has indicated that the proposed subdivision will be used for residential and agricultural purposes. The balance of the lands is under agricultural production. All lands adjacent to the subject quarter section are zoned agricultural general district. The proposed parcel is compatible with existing land uses in the surrounding area and is not considered to have a negative impact on adjacent lands. An existing access to the proposed subdivision is from the east via Range Road 231. The construction of a second approach off of Range Road 231 will be required to serve the balance of the lands. Range Road 231 has residential road classification. In accordance with Section 662 of the MGA and Policy 9.2.4B of the MDP, a 5-meter road right-of-way will be required by caveat along the east boundary of the proposed parcel and the balance of the quarter adjacent to Range Road 231. The applicant has indicated there is a county water line that services the proposed parcel. Regarding the municipal development plan, there is no conflict, as policy 4.2.7 allows for the subdivision of land to accommodate a farmstead separation. Policy 4.2.4 allows for the subdivision of land for extensive agricultural purposes if the parcel is capable of sustaining a viable agricultural use. The proposed subdivision meets the intent of the municipal development plan. Regarding the land use bylaw, there is no conflict. The proposed parcel size exceeds the 4 hectare or 10 acre allowed by the A district. However, the proposed 8.5 hectare or 21 acre parcel is warranted and is required to accommodate the physical characteristics of the site that consists of an existing residence, farm buildings, open discharge system, the required setback distances from property lines, and the additional lands needed to accommodate the proposed agricultural use. One comment was received from an adjacent landowner regarding the circulation notice with questions about the application. The respondent was hoping to find out if the land was still going to be farmland, and there were no concerns raised. It is recommended that the subdivision application to create an 8.5 hectare or 21 acre parcel from Northeast 14, 92, 23 west of the 5th meridian be approved, subject to the 9 conditions outlined in the report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? I will make a motion to approve subdivision 26 NL06 with the 9 conditions. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Natalie. So I think that's it. We have a MPC meeting at 11, but I don't think we're gonna need your presence there. It's a pretty brief agenda if you've seen it, so we can let you go then. Okay, thanks, Dale.
Thank
you.
Since we're on page 2 of the agenda, we have Pearl here. Let's back up to 6.6.1A, the planning and development update.
Yes, this is our update from the month of April. As always, these are the number of people who submit an inquiry, not the number of times they inquire. I physically couldn't track how many times somebody calls. But we had 17 development. 2 of those were received directly by ISL, 15 of those were received directly to myself. 3 applications resulted and 1 NOD was issued. We had 7 subdivision inquiries. All of those were received by myself. None of them have led to an application yet, nor were any NODs issued or subdivisions endorsed at that time. At the end of April, I went down to Red Deer for the Community Planners Association of Alberta conference. It was very informative on some Water Act changes and the relationship between economic development and planning policy. So there's definitely some interesting things we could review if we are interested in that. But that may be another winter project with all of these permits coming through with our other changes. But yeah, that's all I have for that. Any questions?
Keep you busy.
Very busy.
Sounds like.
Yes.
Okay, any questions on the report? No, just get a motion to accept for information. Okay, Councillor Levesque, all in favor? Carried.
Thank you. I'll see you for MPC later. Oh,
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we're back to page 1 of the agenda. So item E. Letter from the Dixonville Community Library. Well, we've already kind of discussed that with Louisa, but there is additional information that was given as a edition 6.1.1 E. So it just kind of frames everything we heard this morning, right? This is a release from the libraries regarding Bill 28.
I can make a motion that we accept that letter and information, package for information and discuss it under the delegation portion if we want to make a motion to merge them together.
Yeah, and then if anybody wants to attend the webinar, I mean, this is, gives the link to the webinar to register.
Yeah, I am, I've registered for that one.
I have a meeting that day, so I'm in transportation. Okay.
Okay. So. Did you catch that motion then? Or did you treat it that?
To accept it for information, that being said.
And discuss during the delegation portion,
Yeah, when we make our decision on delegations.
just so they don't read the minutes and think that we just waived it off. But just kind of amalgamate the 2.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. That'll take us down to item F, the Peace River Aboriginal Interagency Committee invitation. So this is the powwow days that they Yeah, I attended last year. Pretty big event, yeah, so I guess basically we received an invitation for attending on Saturday. We have the municipal leaders there in attendance as well, just to see a brief acknowledgement or a brief greetings on behalf of council. So anybody interested in attending, I won't be here this time. I went last year.
Yeah, okay.
Brenda,
I will be there as a volunteer, so
That was kind of my thought.
unless
If you were-
Galen would like to go and bring greetings.
I think if you're there and okay to do double duty, that would be ideal, but I can make it work if you don't feel comfortable doing it.
Sure, no, I'm fine with it.
they're already, you can take your
Yeah.
volunteer hat off and put your council hat on.
I'll make the motion that we have Councillor Yazinski attend on behalf of council.
Okay,
Is that all three of the events?
She needs to pick just one.
Just one of them.
Yeah.
so.
It'll be Saturday.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll do the Saturday one.
1 or 7 o'clock.
1 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I think the 1 o'clock is.
1
where they
o'clock. That's kind of the one that most municipal or delegate or
Yeah, I think that's
dignitaries
what they have
attend.
here. Yeah, if based on last year, that was the one where everybody kind of got marched in and stood and give a little greetings and. So, okay, all in favor? Carried. Item G was an addition. Community barbecue invitation. This was the one that Linda had sent out an email. She said that she would attend.
June the 2nd.
Yep.
I think you got the invitation too, right?
Pardon me?
Did you get the invitation?
I did, but I won't be here, so, I mean, if you, it's right in your backyard, so if you're willing to attend, that's probably sufficient.
Excuse me, can you make this motion?
You need a motion.
I thought,
I made the motion for the powwow.
Thank you.
If that's what we noticed.
yeah, it was. So, Linda, if you were gonna represent the county there, and, then you would have to have a motion to approve your attendance. I think
I'll make the motion to send Linda or Councillor Halibisky to Paddle Prairie,
Okay, thank you, Brenda.
New Paddle Prairie School.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. The next addition, item H, is a Manning Area Food Bank Society funding request. We have a provision in our budget for that. The council grants.
It would be council grants for sure. I don't think we have a specific budget item. So just coming out of your generic one, your unassigned revenue.
Well, this is become a reoccurring one now.
So funding, more grants.
Yeah, so just now move it to the municipalities.
They're very important.
So my report later in the agenda had your balance left, still got 53,000 and change remaining in your unallocated miscellaneous funds.
Jay, I just want to make a motion there that they receive some grant funding of $4,600.
I think that was for them to do, assessment activities. I believe that was for them to do this standards of, There's a return that we have to do standards of compliance, so that makes sure that we're all in compliance. I think that was that grant. See, where the sheet.
And then just a breakdown of the expenditures that they proposes, $8,000 for the food and $2,500.
$4,600 was a project for government.
Yeah.
And that was just for assessments, so we'll,
Says
yeah, sure.
maybe use that.
So what is, I mean, they didn't provide the total budget here, like, I don't know what.
They wanted $10,000.
Well, I see that, but I mean, how far does that go into the total operating budget? Do they, are they still gonna have a shortfall? How do they operate with it?
Well, they do fundraising and that's about it.
The cost of groceries is probably not going very far.
Well, it's probably mostly for the administration of the assessment position, and she,
Well, she's resigned.
no, I realize she resigned, but somebody will have to take it over.
Yeah.
That's 8,000 on food, 2,000 on.
Mhm.
We still get donations from Walmart and recent others. We just a lot of donation, but this stuff is that we can't, there's no donations for the $8,000.
I'm assuming that they hit the town up as well for funding.
Yes.
I don't know that. Well,
It's a big cost, but I mean, I remember when I first got on council and Dan Williams sat in the chamber and I said, you know, like. Food banks rely on the charity of people, and the charity of people, there's not enough money to give anymore. And, you know, I told it's their responsibility and they don't kick in enough, and it's really frustrating.
And there's so many regulations coming in, like you can't have, like farming, and you can't, I mean, that. Yeah, well, I mean, they have to be all, they have to be inspected, they can't just be community, I mean, there's so much that, and if you don't follow the rules, then you can do that, so. I'd like to make a motion.
Councillor Decken has made a motion to go 10,000 to the Manning Food Bank out of council grants. Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Brenda?
In favor.
Thank you. That's carried. The last edition, this morning, item I is award 7 ratepayer meeting.
I was hoping we could have it in July.
You just have like a regular council meeting moved up
Yes.
there for July.
Also, you want to combine our council meeting with the ratepayer meeting?
Yes, it's,
Like we've done
I
in the
think
past.
it's, yeah. And my babe will get some. Next week.
So we haven't,
That's the 14th, right?
So that'll be the 14th, and
July 14th.
we canceled the July 28th.
we already had that motion, we canceled that one, right, so. So council. It really so that, I'm assuming at the community hall again
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Joyce.
and provide lunch.
I think that's, I have to, right? Would it be a major meeting and then the evening meeting, or how would you? Would you?
9 o'clock start again, or afternoon,
Really, when I thought that we go for everybody. So your ratepayers.
I'll do whatever your ratepayers need.
Yeah, no. Cause then I can leave.
well, if you did one, then you wouldn't have to worry about lunch then, right? But,
You guys will be.
pick up sea subs or something.
What did we do last time? I thought we. I had a barbecue the last time you guys came to my big burl. Oh, I thought we bought subs. No.
We did, that's,
Yeah, that was.
For the
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, that was a different, we did a special.
we had a special
There's a
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah, something I remember.
Yeah.
Could you,
Yeah.
you had one item,
Right,
one item agenda there?
yeah.
Okay, so 1 o'clock,
Last time when we have a repairs meeting. I've provided a bargain.
You wouldn't know, I remember that. So 1 o'clock then?
No, if you guys are okay.
Is there internet at the hall? Is there internet at the hall?
Maybe. I'll have to check.
Yeah, we've never had it before.
Yeah, but we.
So you're starting
We
to
could probably put a Starlink up there.
You have to say exception to this meeting.
Yeah.
But it limits our ability to answer questions when we have no access to the internet.
I'll let you know. I'll call Joyce.
Okay, we got a little over a month to
If
say.
we have it at the
And
library.
bring your remote.
Well, I think you can rent one.
I have a mobile Starlink we could use.
You would be able to, let us use it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we need a motion to, you'll have to advertise that, right? The meeting and then the
Yeah.
repair meeting, so a motion to have our July, what was it, 15th? 14th meeting held at Cape River at 1 p.m.
That's.
in conjunction with the repair meeting.
Thank you.
You're making that motion? Okay. All in favor? It's carried. Okay, that takes us down to 6.1.2, the CAO report.
Thank you, Jay. It only took me 2 years. to had enough of me and resigned. So Teresa has officially decided to retire after 15 years, which we all want to thank her for her service, and she knows what it's done, but apparently she doesn't want to work anymore. So we did the museum tour. Oh, that was quite impressive to see that. That was my first time there. We had the Manning and County ICF Task Force meeting. Sort of on our way to get an agreement there. I am not sure when the next meeting is going to be scheduled, but we'll look into that. Some AHS concerns we had. You read the mayor. April and I had a meeting with Minister Williams and Parliamentary Secretary Ron Weed. Pillars that they created, and according to Ron Weed, it is going to be a more local approach with one bite to kick as he's coming. So let's hope. We had a special meeting with some information on the position paper that we'll have later on. There was future of Mercer Peace River stakeholder event. Oh, that was another impressive event for me to see the mill on the inside. It is huge. It's actually deceptive from the road. You don't think it's that big, but it's huge. And I think it's a brilliant idea what they have there, doing some of the carbon capture and the storage thereof, and getting some money for the offsets of that. So I think it's a good thing. There was some good acknowledgement from the county of accommodating them, which was also well received. And yeah, I just want to reiterate on the size of it. I mean, we walked a long way, and that was only about 40% apparently of the whole thing. So it is huge.
When they have them bicycles scattered all around it.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. They had like bicycles in the mall where they with like toolboxes at the back. So yeah, impressive. And yeah, that's my report. If there's any question.
Okay, thanks, Gary. So I'll just comment on the task force that Caleb and I sat in on, and really doesn't look like there's anything you want to reinvent or change. It's kind of probably going to be a similar agreement that we reached by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And on the HS concerns, yeah, I mean, I arranged that meeting with the minister and MLA Reeve because heard some concerns coming out of Manning about this AHS got overhauled, and it's still no better really. It's still not that local decision making. It's still kind of one size fits all. So Grand Prairie, Edmonton, Calgary, Fort McMurray, the same applies for Manning, Grimshaw, Fairview, all the small rural hospitals, and it just doesn't work when you have multiple layers of management on a small facility. One physician on call, you don't have multiple physicians to be doing ER, doing acute care. So anyway, he understood all that. I just wanted to make sure that he was aware, and like he says, he wants to, what was his words? One butt to kick, but he's working to resolve it, I guess, so we'll see where that goes. I mean, it's tough when you're battling a organization as big as AHS is, but hopefully our voices are heard. I said, well, he needs more advocacy. We have to meet with the minister. We're definitely there to support him. You know, as well as other small rural healthcare facilities, they're feeling the same frustration. So yeah, that's all the comments I had. And the mill tour that Kaylin and Gary and Gerard attended was,
Brenda was
yeah, and Brenda was there too, that's right. It was very good. And they gave a very good presentation. The tour, we stood on the spot where the new facility will go. We'll have to do some rearranging of some of the existing equipment they have there, but so yeah, they have ambitious plans. They want to get this rolling sooner than later because the current model isn't working, so I guess it all depends on how the funding rolls out. So any other questions for the CEO report?
Maybe one thing that I've got to add there is on the June 23rd meeting, I have to excuse myself a little bit earlier because I have my citizen of meeting with the I think it's a judge that actually does it to us, and that would be at noon. So just a FYI.
Well, I have a suggestion for that. If it's at noon on a council day meeting, maybe we could be there to watch. If it's virtual, right?
We can do it all if you want.
I think that's a big,
It is a big.
it's monumental, and I mean, I don't know how long this takes, but I can't imagine they're doing.
They set up 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Can we, executive summary?
Give us the clip notes.
So if it's at noon, I guess it depends on how heavy the agenda is. We may be adjourned by then anyway, but if not. Yeah, not till 4, right? So yeah, just if the officers are on, we might have to slip in and yeah, I can see you for an hour or two, but hopefully we can get to the meeting before that, and you won't miss anything. And I guess if anybody is, and you'll do that from home or you'll do it from the office or?
That's probably from home.
Yeah.
Just as my wife and my mom will follow.
Right. Well, maybe after the town meeting is done, we'll party time. Yeah. Celebrate our newest citizen. Okay, I'll just get a motion to accept the CEO report. Thank you to that. Okay, Councillor Peace, all in favor? It's carried. Move down to 6.15 finance. So we have item A and B with 2 payment registers, March and April. Anything of notoriety on there?
What's that, sir?
Anything of notoriety or?
I think so, unless there's any questions, you see them signing them all, or you or anyone.
I'll make the motion to accept them for each.
We could,
As presented.
we could roll on both into one motion, March and April, or let's just do them separately. Like we've always done, so Caleb does March, all in favor? Carried. And then the April registry, you'll make that motion, Gloria? Councillor Reckon accepts April payment register, all in favor? Carried. And then April bank reconciliation.
More of the same, there for your regular acceptance. The bank account balance was starting to get down there, that's pretty normal for that time of year, so we're on the uphill climb now. I say pretty low, but if I had $660,000 in my own bank account, I'd probably be here less frequently, so.
Yeah, I got that. Councillor Albisky moves to accept the April 26th bank reconciliation, all in favor? Okay, then we have an addition, Vector Finance update.
Addition, I was out of the office last week, as you'll see. So we got your council grant summary first thing there. Obviously, that's changed now, so after today's meeting, you'll be down to 43,000 and change in your miscellaneous grants. It'll be updated again for the next meeting. So last week I was away at the annual Government Finance Officers of Alberta Conference. So kind of gave you a detail of a whole bunch of different session topics that I attended. I've become quite a popular person there because, as I mentioned, we were the early adopters for the Sylogist.gov ERP system that we're using. A lot of the older systems have now reached their end of life, so many municipalities in the province are at a point now where they've either decided which direction they're going or they're in the process of making that final decision. So probably had 95 to 100 people find me in the crowd of 600, make a point to ask how things are going. And they've also signed a lot of additional clients. That's going to be good for us in the long run, because the more people that are using it, obviously the more financial resources they have to commit to support things like that. But also it gets opinions from other municipalities on how to fix some of the quirks that we've had in the past. So all good news. They also do a couple of interesting things. We had they split one of the sessions into forums, so they segregate us into rurals or urbans under 10,000 or larger urbans. So obviously part of the rural one. So we had kind of mentioned the topics in there, but everything from Bill 28 to a little bit of hate speech on the industrial assessment and LPRT decisions and how long that's taking, and then as well the provincial policing. So everybody in attendance there is finance people and CAOs, but nobody's happy with that increase. It's not that I heard. That was interesting.
So when people were seeking you out, what your opinion on the new system, what was your honest answer?
A lot of it is how did it go, and then how is it going now? So how did it go? Well, you saw my face and my new gray hairs for 2 years, but our situation was a little bit different than everybody else's now. So we did this migration alone, internally, directly with the provider. So they're handling it a little differently now. They're using consultants who are actually bidding out the transition work for them, which I wish we done. That would have been so much easier, but it would have been an extra zero on the end of what we paid for it, right? So, but at the end of the day, for the bulk of what we're using, we're functioning day to day. We get weird issues usually following updates, but they're mitigated fairly for the most part. So I mean, all in all, yeah, continuing to go, and there's not a lot of options. The comparative programs that people are using have kind of dwindled, so there's really we're down to 2 main ones. Yeah, there are some other ones, but once you get into like that third, fourth option, you need to find different softwares to do different things that all have to talk to each other. And with the small organization we have, that would be an absolute nightmare to take care of. That would just take so much of my time to make sure everything is working. That wouldn't be something I'd be interested in. Yeah, that was that. But anyways, lots of visiting, lots of learning. Got back late Friday night, tired. So moving on from there, so just an update on property taxes. So 'tis the season. To date, actually, from the time I wrote this, we've now done one more, so we've had 12 inquiries. So just to familiarize or remind council of the terminology, when you are unhappy with your taxes, you can do a few things, but step 1 is an inquiry, which is just an informal discussion essentially with the assessor to review what he's capturing or they're capturing, and just make sure that all of the information is accurate related to age, size, use, that kind of thing. If there's no change there, or if you're still unhappy, then you can actually do a formal appeal on your assessment. That comes with a fee, and then it actually comes with the requirement to have a presentation to an assessment review board. So we get very few of those. We get a significant amount of inquiries every year. So a lot of what we're seeing, most people that call are unhappy. This is not new, this happens every year. Most of the time we walk through exactly what was written on the insert. It's so we kept our mill rate the same, but the value of your property increased. It does that because it's based on market value. It also does that because it's requisitioning bodies that have increased their requisition amounts. So there's a lot of factors at work. We've also seen things like, oh, well, there's a second house now being assessed, but I don't see a development permit. So is that right? Yeah. So we catch things like that, and then that leads to further discussions with Pearl's department and how we can handle that. And also just every once in a while things slip through the cracks. So we do get inadvertent changes of use. Especially if it's not a full quarter section. So if you have like a subdivided parcel that's 20 to 30 acres and it's in bush and not developed, it might be still kept as farmland, but the minute there's some trees gone, it might get switched to vacant residential, which changes it completely. Play off my quote from last week's paper, it moves it from the land of make-believe to the land of market value. So lots of things like that. These discussions happen quite frankly, until the last day of June when they're due, so. I suspect that number, once again, will probably be in that 70 to 100, depending on how many people take the time to call. The only other thing, just in case you guys hear, we do every year end up with some manual mix-ups. We quite literally print and sort and fold over 8,000 tax notices and owner summaries, and then put them in envelopes and mail them. For anybody who's been a part of a process like that, papers do stick together every once in a while. When you read 8,000 things in a day and a half, you do blur names together, so mistakes do happen. I think we've had 2 or 3 phone calls so far of people just an owner summary that wasn't theirs was stuck in their envelope, or a tax notice that wasn't theirs was included. So we are sympathetic and apologetic to people. Very, very difficult to control with 100% accuracy, the nature of the process, but I want you to be aware in case any of those comments get back to you guys. Any questions about that? Everybody's happy with you guys, that's good. So while I was away last week, I did get a phone call directly, just expressing concern with the lack of sending statements out. So as of right now, hopefully you've all looked at your own tax notice, but it shows you the current year's levy and then amount due. And then amount due if you wait until July 1st, amount due if you wait until November 1st, and amount due if you wait until May 1st of the following year. Because that's all expressed there, we never have in the time that I've been here, and I don't think since before then even sent out invoices for penalties or new statements. So this happened to be a resident that I think for the most part has always paid their bills on time, whatever the reason, just paying it. Didn't get any statements, thought they had paid it, got their bill this year, now they owe 2 years worth of taxes plus the penalties. So we have nothing in place that hinders us from doing this. We have nothing in place that requires us legally to do this. It's just quite a matter of, do we want to? It would come not at a tremendous financial cost, depending, but it's not 5 tax statements. Like come July, it'll be 4% roughly of 800 or of 8,000 on average is the amount of people that haven't paid by the deadline. So it becomes another fairly burdensome task. It gets better further on, but it's not a small amount of invoices to send out, I guess. But again, if council wishes for us to do that, I think in 10 years I've had 5 complaints about that, maybe. But it can be burdensome for people. The approach we take is we don't do that, but we tell you when we sent the notices, and we tell you in the newspaper, on Facebook, on our website, We also do it by not changing the deadline in 35+ years. So if we stay consistent, we try to tell you. But obviously that doesn't work flawlessly 100% of the time.
I mean, I get other utility invoices that do the same thing, right? This is what you owe by this date, and if you wait till this date, this is what you owe, right? And that's fairly point blank, I think, and I don't know if this is any different. I guess it is for a handful of people, but.
And I promised I would bring it to your guys' attention, so here I am doing my duty.
I don't see any quick way.
Maybe since there's no legal obligation for us to actually mail it out, can we do like an online email reminder that we send out? For the ones that we have email addresses for?
Just like a letter reminding people that we've sent them, or reminding them the due date, or like what are you, or like
Well,
an actual statement?
like a statement, can the system generate us a statement that we can email out? Because we don't have to mail it out.
We can, but it's not a batch process, like typically, so I'd have to work with Sylvan's on it. Right now, we can generate a statement if somebody wants one, but we're doing that.
But then
per
what percentage of the ratepayers have email address?
It's
Is it
getting
better?
better,
It's doing
yeah.
better.
But I don't send it to all 8,000, or just the ones that are delinquent, or?
Yeah, because I would want an email by fee.
Yeah, that'll just confuse you. Yeah.
I don't think so.
So it's, I mean, the approach that I've always taken is we haven't, and so we encourage people to phone. If you're unsure, just phone, right? One of us in 5 seconds can tell you, oh yeah, it's paid, or no, we haven't received your payment yet. So there's lots of options, I guess. And even if you want to see a statement for your own property or properties, you can phone and request that, right? And we'll do that for you free of charge. Typically, we're emailing those, not mailing, so really it takes 5 minutes. It's not costing us anything. So we have lots of things in place, I think, that mitigate it, but keep your ears out, I guess, if you guys hear other concerns too.
I've never gotten an inquiry or complaint or anything about it. So.
Just a question on the insert, have you guys got any feedback,
No, and actually Facebook wasn't mean or positive to it either that I've seen, because we actually shared it on Facebook too. And when I saw that, I went, oh boy, this will be good, we'll see what we see, but no, I don't think there's really been much on it, so.
Had a couple and only positive.
Yeah.
I appreciated it.
Good.
That's good.
And we'll bring, I think we still have a few extras, so we'll bring that to the ratepayers meetings as we do those as well, just.
On my list.
Yeah. Perfect. And then the last one, it's been a while, but just been getting some weird questions from members of the public, from the employer side, but the rural renewal stream, still a thing. So I had an email recently asking me about the changes and if we were still issuing endorsement letters, and yes, we are. The changes I walked you guys through a while back now, they were effective at the start of the year. So all that really changed was the letters expire, they're only valid for 1 year, and we're capped on the number that can actually be successful through the program every year. Our number this year was 17. I have no idea, other than guessing by who contacts me for an updated letter, how many are successful, because the province doesn't tell me. So I think from what I've seen, that's about 6 as of right now. And then I continue to, as long as I know that the employer is real and can see a signed employment agreement or contract, continue to write letters for people. So just wanted to remind you in case questions come to you guys about that. Yeah, and it does continue to be popular. We had a couple very happy people. So the gentleman that's working at Hunter Culinary School just got his invitation to go through it now. So it's nice to see, especially an actual in the county location person qualifying to go through. We've had a couple at the mill here as well. So outside of that, it's been predominantly town businesses, but yeah, all good news.
So you're still getting requests for those support letters?
It's not, I think it's slowed down a little bit, but yeah, right now it's mostly updated ones for people that applied 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any questions? Seeing none, must have been a very detailed report.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy, so get a motion to accept the,
I can do that.
Councillor Fees, moves that we accept the finance director's report, all in favor? It's carried.
Thank you, council.
Okay, we move down to 6.1.6, item A, the surplus declaration. I'm a little confused on it, but I guess it's pretty straightforward, but want to just walk us through it, what's going on?
Yeah, so we've got a 3/4 ton pickup truck that's in the south. It's seen better days. So we'd like to put that one up for surplus and get rid of it. And replace that unit right now, for the time being, with the 1 ton from the north. It's already being used down there, because they needed the truck. But I just, instead of getting rid of that 1 ton that is actually useful to us, I would like to get rid of the 3/4 ton that is not. So, I don't know if you want any other information on that?
Seems pretty common sense. I'll make the motion to go ahead and proceed with option one.
Option one,
Declaring unit 4467 as surplus and sell us the option.
that works,
That works for me.
all right, all in favor? Carried. Let's go through one more here before we have to do our NPC. We have 2 more, but we'll start with the DPW report.
So. Don't really have a whole lot for you guys. The big one that I have is in camera. That kind of touched on last meeting, and I just wanted to give you an update on it. Other than that. Let's see, oh, here. I attended the Water North Coalition meeting. Which was rather interesting. Gerhard and I had a conversation about the presentation on grants. We're gonna keep that conversation on our side for right now, but the one update there that was given by environment about the watershed combining, if you will, merging, is a little concerning. From a general standpoint, they kind of dance well, but by the sounds of what had occurred, industry was looking to move water from my Peace watershed into Lesser Slave watershed, I believe it is. And they were successful, so they no longer need ministerial approval to do so.
Is that part of that interbasin trend?
Yes, that's the word I was looking for, interbasin. It's slightly concerning, seeing as how there was only 10 applications to the minister and 7 that were approved. So it's a little interesting as to why it was needed, but anyway, it is happening. Water wastewater update was given, essentially having a hard time getting water wastewater operators. Northwest Polytechnic has a program. They're trying to get more younger people involved in it, and internships almost with in actual situations where they would use their training. For us, it would be tough because we are only level 2. This would be more pertaining to 3 and 4 level plants, which the only level 3 close to us is Manning, so maybe that'll get some benefit out of that.
What is Kid River?
Yeah, Rivers too. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, they did a new election for chair and vice chair. The new chair is Murray, he's the Reeve from Lesser Slave, and vice chair was Byron. I did not get his last name. Brian, so. Can't remember where he was from. But yeah, that is all I have to report on that. Other than that, we're well underway for road repairs right now. We do have an assessment from the engineers on a bridge up in Notikewin, 2 bridges, sorry, in the Notikewin area to come and see what we need to do to patch things up there. Not expecting it'll be cheap, but when I know more, I will come on and chat. Other than that, do you have any questions?
I've seen nothing from transportation in regards to funding yet, so I guess that's still probably being.
I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
Right now?
Usually, I say,
That's
like April-ish, I think last year was. So,
But you do all the
but
contract renewals.
that's not a bad thing to not hear till a little later.
We'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on the DPW report?
Yeah, just a little clarification on that interbasin transfer, what exactly is going on?
It is a little confusing. I'm not even fully sure of exactly what, because when they gave the update, they said, well, if a farmer wants to take water from this side and use it for dust control on this side, they are in contravention and can get fined by Alberta Environment. And then it turned into, well, pumping water over to this side. So it's any transfer of water from Mighty Peace watershed boundaries into Lesser Slave boundaries at the time was a contravention, and you could be fined by Alberta Environment.
We're
So-
talking like water truckloads.
Yes, and pumping. So I think that's where this all came.
So, but we're not looking at any large scale, at least.
They
Or is it-
started with, oh yeah, just farmers wanting to do dust control. And then it turned into, well, industry kept coming to apply for a transfer to move water over to the other side. So it was very, their update, please do not quote me, Dan, was garbage. It really was.
Well, Rhonda, who is Mighty Peace Watershed, she presented when we were in Greenview for our last zone meeting, and she did reach out to me as chair to present again in August, so maybe that would be a good presentation to hear, so we have clarification.
Yeah, because it was, what environment had told us, like I said, it was a pure political answer. I'll put it that way, from a non-politician. Probably just his talking points that he was given.
So it could be or something potentially large.
Oh, I think so. Because like I said, there was, and he had flat out said that there was 10 people that had applied in the last couple of years. And 7 were approved. So I'm thinking that the 3, and then just reading between the lines, the 3 that were not approved were for some bigger operation. They wanted to move water across.
She talked a lot about fracking and
That's what I was kind of getting at.
the.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that that's who lobbied to get this moving.
100%.
But I think, she'd be able to give a better update or better understanding on it than, because it's very convoluted. It really is, which is concerning, especially when we're talking about water.
I'll add it to the list with my email out to the Reeves for ideas.
Okay.
But she did reach out about it.
Okay, any other questions for the DPW report? Your motion to accept it. Mr. Heckel makes the motion, all in favor? Okay, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting, turn it over to Gloria for our Municipal Planning Commission meeting, and then after that, we're going to go on camera quickly. We'll take it away.
We'll call Municipal Planning Commission meeting to order at 11 a.m. Move on to the adoption of the agenda and the additions or deletions from the agenda.
I'll move adoption.
Third, Councillor Shug, all in favor? Carried. We'll move to the minutes of the April 14th meeting. Any errors or omissions? Councillor Beast, the adoption, carried. All in favor? Carried. Next we'll move down to 4.081 DP 2611 permitted use. I guess any questions? No questions. We will accept for information.
Perfect. Thank you.
We need a motion for that. Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. Okay, 1 minute, 11:01. We'll adjourn. Record, right?
Efficient.
Thank you.
All right, so we need
Thank you
to,
for.
we have an item to discuss in camera that was scheduled for 11 our time, so we'll have to do that now. And we can come back out of the camera. Well, we have left here, we have a couple of things. Yeah,
You don't need me?
yeah, you can leave.
No me.
You can leave.
You're cute.
Okay, so this is going to go to the public committee, and I want you to put it on the screen if you can. And then but on the Zoom, I guess, for everybody except Brenda. Okay. So I'll give the motion on the camera. We can do the meeting, so right from this day. I guess we'll, yeah, what? Must be.
That's just, so you guys had asked for just one showing the pay dates and the time
Oh.
when your
okay.
time sheets are due, so we've added that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just grab Dan too.
We didn't know each other on the other one. Well, he's added a couple of things.
Just added the pay dates.
Yep.
Start that you're supposed to be. If we don't get it in, then we get paid late.
You're gonna try and finish up before lunch or what?
Dogs was me, sort of doing down.
Yeah, so I'm thinking too,
Thanks.
but we could have a little bit for damages. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You share their screen, Teresa, but with the draft motion. For the discussion we just had in camera. Okay, so we're just. Having a discussion on position. Paper. Either for Priya, I don't know if you want to mention Priya or not. I guess not. You can put a Priya position, you put it. So was anybody prepared to make that motion? Did you see the motion, Brenda?
Sorry, can you
Yeah, sure.
speak up? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
One sec. Oh, there. Yes, I'm prepared to make that motion.
Mr. Yasinski has moved that council authorize Reeve to sign the pre-opposition paper created by Jake with whatever these companies called there, it's gone away, so that's fine. Councillor Yasinski. Okay, any discussion?
I don't feel this paper adequately represents the public. I'm not supporting it.
Okay, any further discussion? I'm seeing none. Call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? And Brenda, you made the motion, so I'm counting you in favor, so that's carried 6-1. Now we can move back to the regular agenda. 6.4.1. Item A is a water bill relief. So it's they spoke to me, but it's obviously put the recommendation to this administration on it, so I think it's fairly straightforward. They were vacant and
Yeah,
got a big water bill and
yeah, and so all we're, historically, we've, just charged them at the base 420 cube rate, which is $7.20. So, but we can't make that decision. Yeah.
so in my discussion, I mean, I explained too that we have to pay for the water, so any water that he uses comes at a cost. The only thing we have any leniency on is the overage charge, because
Yeah.
we don't pay an
And
overage.
he's aware of that.
Yeah, he is, so that's what's kind of. It'll give some relief. I mean, that's still. It'd be a pretty big bill for that month, but that's what happens when you get a leak.
No, exactly, so. Yeah,
So-
so council wants to proceed.
I'll move to waive the overage charges.
If we can do it. So we have a motion by Councillor Reese to. Waive overage charges in this particular bill. Any clarity required? If not, all in favor? It's carried. Now we can jump down to. The middle development plan, so we can jump down to ag services. So there was an addition, I think everybody met Stephen this morning. Do you want to speak to her appointment?
Yeah, just a formality that you need to formally appoint her as the head human for the county.
That motion?
Okay, after that, can you accept motion that we appoint Stephen Scott as our ag field person?
That's it.
Yeah.
And gal.
Okay.
It's one thing I noticed at these, at the provincial conference, there's more and more female ag servicemen. So we have to change that term. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Should we save the in-camera stuff for after lunch, or? So word reports, was late with mine the last meeting, but I did submit it at the meeting, but it's here now for. Okay, Councillor Levesque needs to accept word reports, all in favor? Carried. Info package, there's 3 additions to that. Any discussion arising? If not, with a motion to accept information. Brenda? Okay, Gary, did you do it? All in favor? We do have a decision of delegation, but we'll go to word, open mic first. Dan, did you have any questions on the meeting?
Well, just wondering about Councillor Reese's last motion about, were you talking about the Mile Zero banner post? Not adequately representing the public?
Oh, no, it's a issue.
Pre-issue.
Position paper.
Nevertheless, it's always something. Is the webinar on Bill 28 about public libraries open to the public? or just municipal officials?
It wasn't addressed, the email says elected officials, so.
Yeah. And what kind of books does the CREAT not want? I assume it's,
Well, we don't know, we can't speak on their behalf, so we have to ask them, and if that's even the case, I mean, that's, we heard that,
That's what we heard.
we heard that this is where it originated, we have no evidence of that, right, so.
Speculation.
yeah. And, I'm sure I've asked this before, but, where is the doctor's house located?
So it's straight south of the hospital, like right across the street from the hospital.
Okay.
It's kind of in the middle of the street there. I can show you sometime, but it's the last street before you get to the hospital, so like I say, it's walking distance, right? 100 yards, 200 yards away.
It's fairly obvious as to what it is.
It's just another house in the street there.
Yeah.
There's nothing significant about it, just a house with an attached garage and
Right.
looks like any other house on the street, so.
Yeah, I guess that's basically it. I was just really curious about the crate issue, but I think Louise has supplied some pretty good info on Bill 28 and so forth.
Yeah, well, so we can't speculate on what's going on other libraries around the province. Whether
Well,
it's-
that's fair enough. I mean, it was a good presentation from first.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty adequate.
And we're gonna discuss that next, what our response will be, right, so. Stick around for that.
Oh, after camera?
No, we're gonna have a discussion on our delegation, which will lead the
Perfect.
in Peace Library, so. So that's it, Dan, then, for
That's it.
anybody else got, yeah, go ahead, Phil.
I've been sitting in on a few of these meetings, as you may have noticed. And I'm concerned about the double standard there seems to be kind of throughout our government. Especially today, I heard about the library board. I've heard about other things where you guys are always lobbying the Alberta government because they're not listening to you on what you want and the way you things should be done. We, the ratepayers, feel the exact same way. You guys do not listen to us and do what we want. For example, the one big question was, do you want a nuclear power plant? You put out a questionnaire with a caveat. It's non-binding. If we don't get the result we want, we're just gonna say, sorry, we're not listening to you. That is just totally wrong. I keep seeing you guys going to all these meetings and organizations. You fall over yourselves at every meeting to run to another meeting to listen to these so-called experts on what they think we should be doing. And we've been struggling to get ratepayers meetings, and I'm really glad you guys are actually gonna have them, and I hope people are gonna show up. Because I think people are getting upset with the lack of information. The big one is the nuclear power. You guys just had an in-camera discussion on this PREA thing, which we said you don't want nuclear power. What did you do? You go ahead and set up another committee, discuss things, don't bring any information to us. And we've spent tens of thousands of dollars for you guys to run off to meetings with no benefit to us, the ratepayers whatsoever. You're gonna be held accountable for that. So when the ratepayers meeting comes, you better be ready to answer some questions. And then the other thing is, when each of these different concerns come up, and Terry brought this up in your one report, and I mentioned on it. One of the presenters said, don't just do what you've always done and what everybody else has done, because there might be a better way or a different way. And yet every time one of these things come up, the first question is, what did we do last year? What is everybody else doing? That should not even be part of the equation. It is what is going to work best now and in the future. Because what is past, we made that mistake, don't do it again. And the other one I already got an answer from. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Phil. Jamie was wondering about the new audio system.
But the answer to that too.
Questions I have, well, stated for the rate fair meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we have decision on the delegation. We heard it from Louisa with East Library. Basically looking for some support on public libraries. What this council feel we should do.
Just
I
like,
mean, the problem is Bill 28 is already passed, right? So the whole
I think we're just asking for support. Nothing, what she said, she mentioned about inspectors and everything else coming to these little libraries.
We could certainly, voice our concerns at the benefit. One thing we can do.
Yeah, I think we should push back on Bill 28 and support our public libraries against overreach, censorship, and invasion of privacy in the provincial governments.
I mean, what she described and what I've seen on the information was they already have lots of measures in place at public libraries. I don't know about the ones that are shared with schools, might be a little more difficult, but City Manning, Peacer, these types of libraries, Dixonville is shared with the school, but there is no school there now. But it will be again, hopefully.
And there's Grimshaw.
Well, Grimshaw shared with the school already, yeah. So, but anyway, there is safeguards in place already, right? But underage children just can't go and take a book off
Yeah,
the
I
shelf.
mean, with all the problems we have in society, I mean, who worries about what goes on in the library? I mean, I just don't see it as a concern, like it's not a big.
Well, obviously, Bill 28 thinks differently, and I don't know why, where they came up with that.
A lot of it had to do with different books that are in libraries. That some people do not feel they should be there. And I mean, if you want your kid to get it, then I would say exactly, like.
I mean, I think it started with school libraries, like she agreed that they had some probably inappropriate material for school age children, and so they wanted that removed, and I said, well, why don't we just go a step further and we'll control public libraries then too, which I don't think is appropriate, but. So am I hearing that we would write a letter to our Minister of Municipal Affairs and CC East Library and the Coalition of Alberta Libraries and the Premier? If that's council's desire, yeah.
Like to make that motion.
Okay, Councilor Overstein makes a motion to authorize county to write a letter of concerns.
Okay, authorize county of Northern Lights to support local libraries by expressing concern to the provincial government, starting with provisions on public libraries noted in Bill 28.
Remember, Bill 28 is a very big bill.
Big bill, yeah.
It encompasses
Big
a lot
old
more than
bucks.
libraries, but. Yeah. Okay, any further clarification, discussions? Brenda, you can see the motion? No. Not anymore.
Did you hear me?
No, I can't, but I got the gist of it. I'm in favor.
Okay, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. All right, let's break. Teresa and Garrett and I are going to deliver cookies to the hospital and clinic as part of the Rural Health Week, and then we'll meet back here at 1 to finish up the meeting. And then at our ordinance meeting. Oh,
Just checking, do you guys make motions to go in camera and come out of camera? Because I didn't hear a motion to come out of camera.
Yeah, we
We
made
did.
it too late.
because we were in camera when we made the motion.
You can't make motions in camera.
No, made a motion to come out of camera and return to regular format. You have to do it that way.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we'll take a 1 hour recess. How long is the ordinance? Was it mostly the theory of the safety stuff or the
It's gonna be a long one.
long one? The long route.
So
I can't stay past 2:30. But when I didn't get the agenda, I assumed we weren't gonna do it.
Sorry, everyone was extremely busy, and all I have is the agenda. I just finished it this morning, and the gentlemen are going to, put everything on digitally review.
So I won't be here for it.
Okay, well, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And
I
Gary-
got 5 kids that need off the bus.
Well, I can. I just can't go too much more than about 3 o'clock.
I mean, we can't make motions anyways, they have to come back to council anyway, so I'll get to see the final ratification now.
And the link for all those safety.
Yeah, we got an
pages
email
was
on that.
already given to a long time.
Yeah, she's not gonna walk through and read you everything that is in there.
Yeah,
I hope
did
that is
the
not-
3 that I request make it onto the agenda?
Which one are those?
I gave Gerhard the list, the 3 I have to look for my notebook. I don't think
I don't remember what you were asking for, Karen.
I intentionally leave and walk through a couple. Big things, but I'm not.
we all see the revised.
Go downtown to, if you, for your team, the CT, you can really to have, they got there.
Yes.
I really don't. Cause I'm special and Mrs. Pepper really likes me.
No, so I'll go through, I have my sticky note on my computer, I'll email them for the next ordinance meeting,
Okay,
so that's fine.
so. You say you've got time to spare, Jared, you got time to spare to fit these with them quickly? Yeah. Otherwise, if we wait till the end of the day, it's gonna get pretty late possibly. So is this just on behalf of Mark or Traction Retention Committee, or would be more?
So moved by Councillor Shove to authorize the county to provide a one-time capital contribution to the town of Manning in the year of 2026 for $40,000 for general capital projects.
Yep.
Okay, any discussion, clarity? All in favor? Brenda? Look reluctant, you give lots of thumbs up before us here.
We're catching up.
Okay, so with that, I think I can adjourn the meeting. And then we'll move to our ordinance meeting. Thanks, Reeve.
How's it going?
Well, that'll be determined.
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah, I hear.